People in India are very horny. We honk so much that noise levels in our cities are way beyond permissible limits and quite unbearable. Whether we realize it or not, this causes increased blood pressure, hypertension, and disturbed sleep patterns. Now, while the horn is designed as a safety device of our car, we love abusing it. True, our roads are chaotic. But what explains the honking as soon as the signal turns green? Or how people honk thinking it will magically eliminate the traffic jam? Think about it. Something is happening which is beyond our conscious awareness. It's called habit. Habits are essentially automatic behavior where one doesn't consciously think about the action, but the decision making happens subconsciously. Like how many, most of you would have overeaten at lunch. You know you'll suffer the consequences, but that didn't stop you from gorging your favorite dish. Or how we keep checking our mobiles even though there is no missed call or SMS. We live a lot of our lives on autopilot. And honking is a habit too. Our motivation to honk is so high given the road and traffic conditions. The triggers are so many. The green signal, someone cutting our lane, a cow sitting in the middle of the road. The horn is so conveniently located that we reach for it automatically without thinking. Moreover, there's no consequence for the driver for honking. Now, there have been many education-based awareness campaigns and messaging that have tried to change people's honking behavior, but none have succeeded. It's like we see these no honking signs, we see even big digital signboards in silent zones, but we forget that message and the habit of honking kicks in. It's a bit like why we don't reduce or quit smoking in spite of those gory smoking kill warning signs on the cigarette packets. Deep-seated habits are quite difficult to get rid of through awareness alone. That's why at my firm, we use a different approach to change people's behavior, and it's called behavioral design. Now, behavioral design is essentially using science to change human behavior. And one of the fundamentals of behavioral design is that we humans are quite irrational. Now, what does that mean? Like in a game played with dice, if we want a lower number, we tend to throw the dice slowly, as if it's going to result in a lower number. Yeah? Let me give you one more example. We speakers have been instructed by the TED team to not go left to right of the stage like rock stars, because it becomes difficult for the cameraman to focus on us. But standing here in front of you guys, a little nervous, a little anxious, we could forget those instructions. Right? And that's why they've created this Lakshman Rekha for us. That's behavioral design, right? So to get people to reduce their honking, we realized that we must shift the driver from the automatic mode of honking to making him or her think and deliberate whether the honk is really required. So we fitted a little red button on the dashboard of two of our test cars, my partner Mayur's and mine. When you press the horn, the button beeps and flashes. To switch it off, the driver simply has to press the button. Take a look at how it works. So we designed that frowny you saw on the little red button to indicate that honking is really an inappropriate behavior. Shouldn't be doing it. And according to a Stanford School of Medicine study, peak attention in the brain occurs between moments of silence between two musical notes. So sounds that have a pause make us more alert. That's why we use the alarm-like beep. And we created two versions of this device. One, every time you honk, it beeps and flashes. And we also made a lenient version because we have to honk in our country. So we made it, you honk every 3 times, it beeps and flashes. Now for 6 months, we gave our 2 test cars to lots of people from different walks of life, housewives, office goers, teenagers with license. And they all wondered why we're giving them our car, They were really suspicious about it. They wondered whether they're being videotaped and stuff like that. So we decided we will not tell them anything. We let the fun carry on. And they would start driving typically on a Monday of the week, drive 2-3 days with the button off, and 2-3 days with the button on. Meanwhile, we had a microchip that was recording the number of honks so that we could compare a honks per kilometer before and after. And after 6 months and 3,800 kilometers, look at what we found. each and every participant, whether the participant was honking a lot or honking less, reduced their honking by an average of 61%. And hardly any difference between the two versions as well. And yes, no accident happened during the 6 months of the experiment, except for one. A jackfruit fell on one of the cars while it was parked outside. So 61% of honking, a reduction of 61% means that that amount of honking was unnecessary and not related to safety. Because all the traffic and road conditions remain the same, except for the anticipation of this little red button coming on. And that made the driver think before honking. So we decided to name our little red button bleep, because we believe that indiscriminate honking is an abuse, and we must bleep out that abuse. So far, so good. However, at the end of each week of participants driving, we asked them, so how much do you think you honk? So most of them would say that, I really honk very less. My driver honks a lot. I only honk in emergency. So we decided to show them their honking statistics, and turned out to be quite shocking for them. Then we showed them how much they reduced with bleep, and that surprised them too. And this tends to happen because we think that we are aware of our own behavior, but we are quite often on autopilot mode. So the challenge for bleep is that everyone thinks that it's the others who honk. Nobody is willing to accept that they honk, right? So voluntarily, nobody is going to fit bleep into their cars, which is why we believe that bleep must be made mandatory in our country, just like the seat belt. And if bleep does become mandatory in our country, then your annoyance, our annoyance, will go from these unbearable levels to these smoothing and comforting levels. Thank you.